Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Minecraft. We are walking through our very secure entrance right now, coming into the backside of our Nordic village, where in the last episode, we didn't touch the village at all. Instead, we went over the hill and built a bit of a logging camp. I absolutely love this one. We did a bunch of terraforming in the last episode. We kicked it off like crazy last time. A lot of that dirt placing over there that you're seeing, that is all brand new stuff. Everything in here is all brand new, including the trees, the structures, the road, and all of that jazz. We were able to get a bunch of stuff done, so I hope y'all enjoyed that one. I had a lot of fun doing it. Please be sure to hit that like button down below if y'all are excited to be continuing seeing this stuff here moving forwards. I think we got maybe 2 to 3 episodes left here. That sounds about right to me. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be dealing with the back entrance that I was talking about, how it's very, very well protected. I want to be bringing a gatehouse in here. We need to bring a gatehouse in here, but first and foremost, we got to get the roadways in. I don't like how they're just down. I want to bring them up and detail them with some gravel and everything, so that's why we did just the cobblestone below. However, that being said, we have a old gatehouse design that we are very much going to be using here. This is one big boy, but I think it's going to be a really cool one. I think it'll be really, really nice to be able to set that one up here and just get this thing finished up. So looking at it, we got some gray concrete on the side. We got a bunch of dark oak being used. We got a bunch of spruce, oak, more spruce, and some cobblestone. So I'm going to go gather up a bunch of those resources and we'll see what we can do here today. Our roadway here is in place and I've got the base layout for what this thing was. And there's pillagers coming down my mountains. It's really interesting going back to rebuild things or look at like recreating things that you built years ago. This was like a year and a half ago that we built that original one because then we kind of left this project for a bit because I was like, I don't want to do it yet. But it's really interesting coming back in here and trying to relearn why I made certain design decisions or why I did certain things like a certain way or whatever it might be. And like for example, I think back when I was doing this build, I was really trying to make myself build in a larger scale because I kept looking around at what everybody else was doing. I was like, wow, they build much, much larger than I do. I like to build things pretty much scaled around the Minecraft character, pretty small in size. And I normally would not build a gateway that is 11 blocks wide in the center just to have a long archway like that. But I really like the end result that we had off of this one. And we're going to need to build a wall going up to that edge of the mountain there. There are a lot of them up there. And then we'll need to go up to the top of that hill and build up a tower. And I think that'll be fine. But like looking at this structure, like it's pretty big. It's huge. This gatehouse right here is pretty freaking huge. I think I'm just going to be tackling it like bit by bit here. And I really like that we use this gray concrete on the corner to get those colors in there. Because I remember, I think I was watching Jancy at the time and he always kept throwing concrete in at the corner of his builds. And I was like, that's really cool. I got to start messing around with it. I got to start seeing if I can incorporate that in my builds. And that was one of the goals I had with this place. So it's interesting rebuilding one of those things and coming back one of the old builds and like seeing like what I did differently or what like I was thinking about at the time of doing this one. Does anybody else have that similar type of stuff? Like any things where you've like looked at your old building styles or looked at things and been like, why did I do that? Or hopefully better yet about like, that was a cool idea. Maybe I should do something like that again. I've got to say my build style has changed so freaking much since the last time we've been doing any of this stuff. It's like weird. It's so, I'm going to say that every single clip, but it's so freaking weird trying to come back in here and do this. I've got the front side on this one in. And I've got the backside in as well because I just kind of took a screenshot down there. I was like, all right, we're just going to be duplicating these things up. But basically what we're doing is kind of finding this same layer right here, doing cobblestone wall, dark oak fence on top of it, bringing that up by 2, and then doing a dark oak stair upside down right there, bringing up some stripped dark oak logs, and then doing a little bit action right like that. And you basically just bring in the spruce. This spruce log pillar actually is going to go all the way up to being the same height as that one. And then at that same level right here, actually one below it, we want to bring in some oak logs just so y'all can see the design on this one. I figured now that I've done it twice, I can probably remember it enough to show y'all how to do it again. And then that's going to come up here. All that cobblestone at the base, we're going to mix that up later. I'm just kind of getting around to it still. And then there where it's kind of going into the hill, I'm just not doing the log at the bottom. So we can do something like, actually that's too high. All right, now, next one that we need to come in here for is at these layers right here. Same as that stair block that we did, we can do a fence and a fence. And you come in here and do some dark oak stairs, dark oak slab, and another dark oak stair right there. And then in this spot, you want to grab some of our lovely oak logs that we had and just do that dotted along right in here. And then this part I actually really like. Go me for coming up with this design a year ago. What we do is this, and then do upside down stairs. Just give a little bit more depth in here, so it's not just like that crazy boring one. And then we're actually, this is this area where we would stand on some iron bars in there just to make it a little bit more interesting. Bringing that one all the way up, and then lastly bringing in some cobblestone walls and dark oak fences, and bam and bam and bam and bam. And that's one of the walls totally done, just like that. All right, I finished up the entire exterior portion of this one, besides throwing in a few lanterns here to light it up for us. And that middle archway was a pain in the butt to get in there. So I was gonna bring y'all in, and I was like, no, this is just, I just need to get this one done myself, and then show y'all on the fWhip side. All right, the other side, you know, that whole thing. But anyways, stupid puns aside, how we did this was we get a stair, and a stair. Then you bring that out by a slab to kind of smooth that. Then you bring it back a block, go a full block, stair, slab, stair, and bring it back down, repeating the same pattern. And then all of these on the outside are the exact same, so it's stair, stair. And then you actually do this weird little pattern with these upside down ones that is pretty cool, actually. I like this. I'm like rediscovering my own thing. I'm following my own half tutorial. So it's like stair, stair, upside down stair, regular stair. Across the top of this, it's basically alternating regular and upside down, going the entire way. But I think it looks pretty great so far. We've got to mob proof that upper section. We've got to deal with that. I really like, I was looking for an ender pearl. Would love to have one of those guys. But up here, it looks pretty cool. Like sitting off here in the distance, it gives a good idea of what we have left for the village. Like, I don't know how many houses and things I want to put in this area, but we might add a few more. Let me know if you think we should be adding a few more of these in here. These little side sections are mob proof right now. So what I'm going to do, just to keep ourselves safe, it's just something like that to keep it in there. I'm liking getting this build in here. It looks so much more completed. Having a gatehouse on the far side. It's something about when you finally start adding the walls and the gates to your Minecraft build that you're doing. I feel like that's really when you finally start bringing everything in here together. For me, when I'm building these structures, just kind of a general tidbit while we're killing the creeper right here, is I like to build up one gate. I like to build up one wall and then build up the rest of the city. And then so I have that design for the gatehouse and the wall and everything. And then we're coming throughout here, and finally the way we finish it off is we wall off the other end. So you kind of have that, you allow it to grow naturally from the inside. And then when you're all done with it, you finish it off by doing the outside walls. So if you're ever kind of stuck and feeling like you build all the walls to your village or your city or whatever you're doing, and then you're looking around, you're like, well, now I don't really have the space for what I want to do on the inside. This terrain is definitely on the steeper side, especially going up that way than what we had on the original gatehouse, but I think it's pretty good for what I wanted to do. I'm coming around here to the back now and just kind of fitting all of this stuff in. And this gatehouse like design is actually pretty skinny, thankfully, because all we need to do is bring up some cobblestone. I'm just matching it to the same height as that one where we were at. And then we just kind of extend 3 oak logs along here, and we just fill this all in, which was regular spruce wood. So unfortunately, our middle walking section is pretty skinny, but I'm okay with that. Like, this is mostly just for looks up here. We don't need to be actively walking on it or anything of that sort. And then we're kind of just disappearing into the mountain right in this spot. So I don't really know how I want to finish this one up yet. I'm just kind of leaving it empty and blank for now. And then after we get all these oak wood little bits in here, that's one too far forwards. Need to bring that back. All right, after we get all that stuff squared away, hopefully for the final time here, we need to start bringing in a few of these dark oak ones. I've pretty much been doing them at like the same layer as everything else in here, just because it's so wonky with the size of everything that I think it's pretty much okay to be doing that. And then these are just kind of coming up by 2 blocks and getting at that level, so that should be good there. And then we are stripping down the dark oak wood, of course. And then this stuff is coming through here and do bam and a bam. And then doing our little detail bit right in here like this that we have been doing. And that. And then on top of that is just going to be an oak log line that goes all the way back over to the side of our building. Right like that. So that's pretty much the whole wall. Then I'm going to roughen it up. I've added in some detail around the base of these ones right like that. Small bit of a progress update here for you all. The base of the wall is in shape, going all the way up here to where we are going to be having our lovely tower build. That's going to be a clone of that tower down there because I love that design so very much. So we're just going to be bringing it up here. Did I make... This is definitely one too long. I was like, that should not be 4. That's kind of where we're at for right now with this one. We got a lot of things ready to do. Lots of blocks being placed down. And I got bored of doing this because it was so repetitive that I decided to mess with the side of grass blocks. So this is what it is now. It used to only bring like right there for the grass. I decided to bring it down a little bit more. It makes the grass feel a little bit fuller, leaning a little bit towards that Optifine effect without really having Optifine, since, you know, 1.15 doesn't have it yet. But I like it. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think on this one. I think it's cool though. Let me know. We get some trees out here and everything. This is starting to feel like a very imposing entrance into our village here, which I think is awesome. I think that's gonna be a great little entrance. So I think our next thing that we're gonna be doing after this tower down here is gonna be working on figuring out what this thing is gonna be down here. I don't think we'll get all that terraforming done, but that'll be for a stream project here in the near future. But check this out, we got all this cool stuff going on. All of the stones are piled up, the banners are in all the way around here, and everything's looking pretty dang good. And now I just gotta figure out what the heck I'm doing for this thing up here. I don't remember how to build this one at all, but let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. You know what, we're up here, it's gonna be nighttime. Let's see if we can make this little one happen. I'm not too sure. Let's pull these ones down here, and so we can do this. Let's count this as our bottom layer, so we can bring that up one. And then we probably want to bring it all the way up there a little bit, and we can have our oak wood strip going right around where we're at right now. That could be pretty good, so we can fill these ones up on the corner, and then that oak wood is kind of that barrier of where our floor is going to be. So we can fill these ones in right here, and then do a little action right like this, going all the way around, fixing that one here. Where's my axe? Probably need that guy. And then we can come back over to this side, and these are gonna come up to being probably about that tall. I think will be a good way. We'll do a big old stone base around this one as we're going, and then on top of these, let's do some dark oak stairs. That sounds about right. I don't really know, but I'm gonna hope that's right. Something like that could be pretty good. And then let's fill in, let's grab some more of these spruce planks. We can do 1 and 2, and then this would be where the stairs come in. I don't have any of those, and I'm basically out of planks. But I think that's more or less our base design to this thing. That seems about right. That seems right. We'll go off of this. All right, I was able to copy the entire base thing over, and now I'm coming down here for some brown concrete. Yes, we have a little bit. We got a lot more banners in here too. I didn't even realize I had those ones down there. But coming and looking at this thing, our old one was this guy right over here, and our new one is right up there. Haven't done any of the roof yet, but the base area is completely in. I started on this side, apparently, just this side, throwing in a few of those stairs to make it look a little bit more rickety. But I was thinking about throwing some windows into this one instead to make it a little bit more... Ooh, we landed that. Good job, me. But I want to make it a little bit more, like, cleaner and nicer. Like, that one's off into the distance. Nobody really maintains that one too well, is my thought process behind it. And so I figured we could probably bring in a pretty good one and then just kind of have that here. What am I doing? That doesn't need to be here. That needs to be this way. And then we do it like that. Okay. So I want to walk y'all through here the roof super fast while we're going with it. It's just kind of stacking it up like this, coming up 2 blocks at a time. At the very top, it's something like that, and then this, and then another one sticking out, and doing one of these little bits that we've done many a time before. Except this one on these towers, for some reason, I made them sticking out an extra block, so we're going to keep true to that. Just, you know, to keep the simplicity between all the different builds. We don't need to have it too much different, and hopefully we have enough of this fancy black or brown concrete, sorry, stuff in here to do that. And so we're just going to be piling this stuff up right along here on every single one of these sides. And there we have it. That thing's looking awesome standing up there. I think it fits very, very well in with the wall. However, there's one thing that is pretty weird looking, is we have this little logging camp area that we worked on last time, and the wall right now just ends here. I don't want to build anything of those like crazy large walls that we have like of these big dudes. But I was thinking that we could go ahead and just bring in some spruce wood and create like a spruce palisade wall of sorts, and just kind of stack up a few of these and just dot them along this route. I don't really know how tall or crazy I want to take it, and maybe pile up a few rocks along the base. But I just want this to kind of stick out, getting ourselves around like to where it peaks off right over there and that stone cliff face comes in. I think that would be a much more natural endpoint. Yeah, that's not too bad. Something just along here, and then on top of it, we can bring in a bunch of spruce fences as well. Just something like this, just to spike these up every few. Similar to what we actually did for our wall that we did way, way a long time ago in our 1.14 village remake that we did. So this is a very, very similar styled wall to that one. and I just thought it would fit in here really well. So I'm going to spend some time doing this. Actually, while we're here, if we stripped a few of these down, like every once in a while, and just did something like that and just made it look like maybe the wood was like more manhandled than not, and just to break it up so it's not just all spruce wood going across here, that might actually look pretty good. I didn't want it to be too tall, so I'm okay with a lot of these being too high, but like this one right here definitely cannot stay as just one high log. All right, I detailed out this last little section over here. Also, I'm in love with these grass things. The more I've been playing with them, the more I really like them. Anyways, this thing's all detailed out for the most part. Got little rocks and everything down there. Doesn't need to be too tall. I will tell y'all what, though. I know we've been doing a lot of crazy stuff in today's episode. Some crazy cuts and just like, here's a bunch of progress and all that stuff. Because I want to be able to get a bunch of this stuff done for y'all here today and get this whole thing finished up. But what I would like to do now is actually slow us down just a second. And I want to walk through really quickly with y'all here about how I kind of plan out where the trees go. Let's do that here for a quick second. This big structure out here, I wanted to have it so basically you're walking up this roadway, you feel like you're in a forest. We got big old mountain cliffs on both sides. It's gonna be pretty snowy. My goal is to have this whole valley thing out here textured up and treed and all that good stuff before the end of today's episode. And I might do the base stone part, like maybe down to like those sections right there, just to have that so we don't, in like the thumbnail and everything, and for like our screenshot purposes and everything, it doesn't just like look into the sky. Anyways, Shulker Box Mountain aside over there for now, what I was thinking is right over here, we probably want to give ourselves about to this point and probably maybe like around there where we don't put any trees, because we want to have some vision from the front of that one. So I was thinking we could start ourselves off here with doing a spruce tree right in this way, doing one of those little like warped spruce trees that I've been doing. That guy right there, so we can have that one because he's a little bit smaller. And then scattered in here with him, we can do an oak one, we can do another oak one, and these are those little aspen guys that are pretty skinny, so they just kind of need a 3x3 box around them, and that's pretty good. I try and keep these in bunches, so there's about 3, 4, or 5 of them together at any given time, and I think that's pretty good. And then over here we can do another 1, 2, and let's go 3, 4, and 5, and those right there, this is where they get too close, so maybe we bring him back to here. But then they're in a line together. So then I'm going to move this one back to right there. That should be pretty good for those ones. And then I'm thinking a big old spruce tree. One of our big guys right back in here could be pretty sweet. So we can do you like this. And then I kind of symbolize the different trunk structures for themselves, as this one is that full little plus shape right there, whereas that one's kind of just the little 3. Typically, that's how I divvy these ones up, like divide them up so I can know what's different. And then right in here, we could go with another one of those little warped ones, and that's kind of good for that section. And then filling in the gaps, I typically like to just fill in a bunch of our little aspen trees that we have, so we can just dot a few of those right along here, and that should be pretty good. The leaves around this guy are going to be huge. They go out like 3-4 blocks on each side, so that's totally fine to leave that in there. And I think this area up here, we might be able to squeeze, let's just go with like one of these guys right in here. Another one, that should be pretty good. Bit of a progress update here. A lot of our aspen trees are now in there, looking fantastic. I am very low on spruce leaves. These are literally all that I have left to my name. So I think we're gonna have to jump down to, I hope, do I still have trees planted? Okay, there's plenty of leaves down there. We can go gather up all of those here shortly. Decided for the areas that are closer to our wall and gate and everything like that, I'm gonna add in chop down trees or tree stumps to make it look like they might have cleared the trees out of the area, and then we can have a few baby ones that might be growing back up and are trying to come into this spot and not doing that great of a job. Then up here I decided to add in a fallen aspen tree that we have, and somebody a while ago had recommended that we try using these good old guys, the fence gates here, to make it so when it's laying out, it's a little bit flatter instead of having fences everywhere, and I kind of like it. It probably really doesn't look like much has changed, but I swear a lot has changed. I've added it. I think that all those trees up there are new. A lot of these are coming out this way a little bit further. I've added in a bunch of the stone throughout this whole back area, so for the most part, it's pretty much filled in, and it's looking pretty good. The stone had pretty much the stony cliff face and everything goes all the way up here. I don't know how far we can get up this one, but it goes all the way around through there. Started just adding in a few more of those guidelines that will come through here on like stream next week or something and fill in the rest of this one. I'm hoping we can get all that stuff done before the world tour. But we've got a lot of good stuff going so far in my inventory. We've changed over. I got a bunch of snow in here. I've got some coarse dirt. I've got some podzol. And I want to start detailing this area out. I forgot oak leaves though. I think we might have some around here. Maybe we have 11. Well, I found a few more down here, and that should do it. So what I've been doing for the terrain in these areas is a lot of path block as we have here, because I love this kind of frosted grass color is what we're going for with that one. It's just more of a tundra-y grass field than all this green stuff that we have. So we're pretty much filling the entire area up with this. Just doing big patches like that we have throughout here, so we can just dot a few of those around, just wherever the heck we want them, really. And then underneath a lot of these little ones, I'm going to be bringing in a lot of coarse dirt around these aspen trees just to give it that extra sense of detail. We don't want to get rid of all of the grass. Some grass poking through is still going to be good for us. So that'll be pretty sweet having this in here, so we can do a little bit like this. I want to just make this into a test plot area for y'all. And then adding in some podzol, we can just start to detail that area out a little bit further. And that's meant to be right like there. So just little bits of podzol around our spruce trees to make it look like some leaves or things had fallen down on the ground. And then around these dead ones is where I've been kind of bringing in a lot more of that life stuff that we were talking about in the last episode. So bringing in a lot more of these, and then we can actually probably have a few of these leaves dotted around. I got to finish out this little pathway right throughout here too, so we might just fill that with some coarse dirt on both sides. But just bringing in a few leaves right like that should be pretty good to get ourselves just some ground foliage throughout this area. Granted, this area up here is going to be pretty heavy on the snow front since we're very, very high up in the mountains. So I don't want to go too crazy overboard with all this, but let's just do some of that stuff for now. And then we can come back down here, and I also have some grass and some ferns, and I just want to be very, very light with dotting these in the area and bringing in a little bit more coarse dirt. We got something that looks a little bit more like this, and then we can dot a few blades of grass around here, just like this, like that, and then maybe one over here on the corner, and that should be enough for that aspect of it. And then we can bring in a lot of snow throughout this place, and using snow layers, you can make a really interesting sloped effect. And in the end, it turns into something a little bit more like this. So we got a bunch of snow dotted around the area. I kind of may be thinking that we might bring in a little bit more snow than this and take the path block count down here a little bit. So maybe we can come throughout here and just do a little bit more coarse dirt right like that, and then cover these ones up here with some more snow. Because we can have some snow on the road too. That obviously wouldn't be just totally cleared out here. But that's the general idea. I'm going to do that throughout this entire place and be back. One last glimpse, starting from this same exact spot. My shovel has taken an absolute beating because we ran out of snow layers in the entire shulker box. We went through more than one shulker box of snow layers. I know realistically that's not that many, but it seems like a lot. So I went and farmed up a whole brand new one. And then these are all of our old snow blocks that I just have been carrying around with me for no reason. But anyways, I got all of that detail work done around this whole area. Let's take a little bit of a glimpse at it before we head out for the day. So thank you all so very much for watching today's episode. I do hope y'all did enjoy. Please be sure to hit that like button down below, and be sure to subscribe if you are brand new and want to be seeing more of this stuff around here. Let me know what y'all want to be seeing as far as filling in this part of the village, because I feel weird now that we put the cliff face in, or not the cliff face, the guardhouse or the gateway, and this whole thing up here feels very open in here. I'm okay with this whole being a forest and maybe some more farmland fields and stuff like that in this area, or maybe just like they have their protected forest inside the lands of where they don't really chop it down, could be sacred or something like that. But anyways, that's enough for me today. It's way too late in the night now. I better get off my computer for the rest of the evening. Yeah, thank you all so very much, and I will catch you on the flip side.